Good morning, Dynasty. It's the Hurricanes. It's the Commish. It's the number 1 seed right now. Here with our Week 7 recap. In the Kia Sorrento matchup of the week, we had the Fear Boners over Barkham's Ballbusters. Fear Boners, 89 points. The lowest point total for a winning team in the league so far this year. Maybe ever. Just a terrible, terrible matchup. The 166 total points was the lowest in the league this year between the two teams. These 2 point totals were 2 of the top 6 lowest totals in the year individually on the year. Even if we added their points together, like not taking the best guys from each team, but seriously adding all 20 players' points together, they only beat Mike by 6 this week. By 7, sorry. Another thing, Sean Schweizum, I think I said that correct, I don't know, with 17 points, was the highest non-quarterback score of the week. This is the fewest points in the year for the Fear Boners. But surprisingly, this is not Borkham's Ballbusters' fewest points of the year. He actually put up a lower point total prior to this. So what I'm saying is I did a good job of picking the Kia Sorrento matchup of the week. Just an overall terrible performance by both teams, and that's why it's the Kia Sorrento matchup of the week. Fear Boners are actually up to 3-4. And they are only a game back out of the playoffs. There are 4 teams right now that are 4-3. He does have some catching up to do as far as points, but he is still in the running. BBB, Borkham's Ballbusters, is down to 0-6-1, and still looking for his first victory in this league. In our Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week, we've got Dash over Jibo. But I did have to sweat this one out. Well, Mike probably had to sweat this one out a little bit more than I did. I think after the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, or maybe it was only halfway through the 1 o'clock games, Mike's team was looking terrible. Ivan's team was doing better than expected, and there was a decent chance that Mike was going to lose. And actually, in both leagues, he had a decent shot at losing both games to arguably the worst teams in each league. He did come out ahead on both of them, and man, did he ever come out ahead. He had a very, very solid afternoon and night. And it wasn't just one guy. He had, each of the 4 skill positions, or we'll throw quarterback in there too. Each of the 4 non-kicker positions, he had one breakout guy. So Russell Wilson with 36 points, most among quarterbacks. Greg Olson, 18 points, most among tight ends this week. Le'Veon Spardian Bell with 27, which was 3rd most among running backs, and Roddy White with 25, which was 4th most among wide receivers. So solid plays from Mike's team. I will give him props for overcoming that slow start to actually put up the most points in the league this week. And along those lines, maybe this isn't all Ivan's fault. I think he has the fewest total points in the league, and that might be Bork's. I don't know. But this is the 5th time out of Ivan's 6 losses that the week that he played the team, they put up their most points out of the year. So he's running into guys at the wrong time. That being said, even if he ran into them at the right time, I don't think his record would be much different, but not playing very good defense. This was actually Jibo's 2nd highest score of the year, missing out only by 1 point on his overall total. So, by his standards, a pretty good week. Fun fact about the schedules: Dash would be 7-0 if they played against Jibo every week. A couple teams probably would be. But he would only be 2-4 if he had Jibo's schedule. So this goes back into, Jibo's catching guys on the wrong weeks. Even Mike, one of the top half of the teams, I think he's 5th overall right now. Would only be 2-4 if he had Jibo's schedule. So the scheduling gods, they definitely affect the outcomes. So Jibo does fall to 1-6, 11th in the league. So our 2 rookies, some growing pains here, probably looking forward to 2015 already. And Dash 4-3, sitting at 5th overall. The next matchup, the nondescript matchup of the week, we do have Cecil Seashorts over the Mason Knights. Cecil Seashorts, after going winless for the first 5 weeks, is on a 2-game winning streak, up to 4-1. He called his team DeMarco dependent. His team wasn't even led by DeMarco Murray this week. Ahmad Bradshaw with 21 points. DeMarco still had his 19, his typical, actually that's probably subpar for him, score so far, because he still had another game of 100 yards and a touchdown. Now owns the record by himself. Most consecutive games to start a season with over 100 yards, breaking Jim Brown. And this was a very close matchup throughout. A pretty average matchup, though. Neither team really played well this week, but they didn't struggle either. In fact, Chris was tied for 6th among total points this week, and Doug was 8th. So again, not spectacular weeks, but not terrible weeks by either team. Again, getting a little bit into the schedules, Chris would actually be 4-2 if he had Doug's schedule. So I continue to think that Chris has been, unlucky. It's kind of a theme of a lot of the stuff that I'm putting together this year. Another thing, Chris has more points than the Fisters, or the Fist Pumpers, who's 5-2. So again, sorry, Chris, the schedule, it's all random. Don't blame me. And yeah, I'm probably not telling Chris anything that he doesn't already know. He knows how unlucky he's been. Mason Knights are at 2-5, 10th in the league, and Cecil Seashorts up to 2-4-1. So 2-game winning streak. They're only a game and a half behind Wright's Rampage for the division. That tie could definitely come into play. Could definitely, potentially, I don't know. Because, if Chris finishes a half game ahead because of that, or a half game behind, 1 point in that matchup between him and Bork could be the difference between him making the playoffs or not. In our first rivalry matchup of the weekend, I probably shouldn't have called this the rivalry matchup because you're right, Justin. You called Nick an ass. You didn't call Brian an ass. But the Nuts over Organized Chaos. The Nuts with the 3rd highest point total of the week, but he was only 3rd out of just our division. That's my other theme. I hate randomness. I'm not saying that we should just strictly do a points league or anything, but if we're gonna lock, I'll table that for later. So the projections did a very good job here. Both teams scored within 3 points of their projections. Watkins had a very, very, very good week this week. Ever since EJ has been out of the game, Kyle Orton, not the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's definitely more accurate than EJ Manuel. And Watkins, it paid dividends for him this week. 33 points, his highest output of the year. And then it was a balanced attack from the Nuts. Aaron Rodgers, Randall, don't call me Reggie Cobb, Des Bryant, and Andre Ellington, all with at least 21 points. But then on the flip side, Heath Miller continues to disappoint. We're 7 weeks in. Pittsburgh has not had their bye week yet. Miller only has 1 double-digit performance. I think he only had 2 points this week. So that 1 double-digit performance was very, very good. It was, I believe it was during the Impact matchup of the week where I called him out and said, "You suck." And then he proceeded to score 24. But other than that, no double-digit points in any game. Both teams are pretty thin. There was no non-quarterback on the bench to put up double digits. And Levine Toilolo, I think I said that name correctly, actually led Organized Chaos's bench. non-quarterback, non-kicker bench with 4 points this week. So very, very thin, and this was not bye week induced. Not a whole lot of bye weeks for either one of these teams. Both teams now are 4-3. Nuts does have the tiebreaker over Justin, not because of the matchup, but rather because of total points. If it comes down to, wild card tiebreaker necessity. So Brian, third in our division, still in the playoffs though. Still in sixth as of right now. Justin does drop down to 4-3. This was a big missed opportunity for him. He could have put a 2-game lead between him and Brian if he would have come out on top, but it did not happen. So these two teams are tied, also tied with Mike. So 2 of these 3 teams will probably make the wild card, but maybe not. We got a couple teams that were behind them that won this week and could get interesting. It's maybe not as clear cut as it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know. In our second rivalry matchup of the week, we had the Fist Pumpers over Wright's Rampage. This was the only upset of the week. I went 5-1 on my picks this week. Demarius, top score of the week, second highest total of the year with 37 points. That Broncos offense is picking up where it left off last year. It took them a couple weeks to get going, but they're looking fantastic, especially Demarius and Peyton as well, but we'll get to him. Another scheduling quirk. So the Rampage, who is 4-3 right now, they would actually be 6-0 if they had the Fisters' schedule, and only 6 games because you can't play against yourself. So he would be 6-0 if you played the Fisters' schedule. This was the Rampage's lowest point total of the year. And then between both teams, there were actually 3 guys that went completely scoreless. So Akeem Nicks from the Colts. Colts are maybe the second hottest team in the league right now behind the Broncos. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. Maybe the Packers are up there. Who am I forgetting? I don't know. But 3 players went scoreless. Akeem Nicks, Tim Wright. So neither one of those are shocking. But the shocker special of the week, Jimmy Graham, 0 points. He was a late addition to the lineup, did not finish with a catch. And this actually hurt Wright's one because looking at his bench, I'm guessing he would have played Owen Daniels, and that would have put him over the top. So Daniels was 17 points, would have given Rampage the victory. And then in our next tell, this was mainly bye week induced. Foles, Ertz, Macklin, and Vjax all on a bye. But Fisters only got 1 point from their non-kickers on their bench this week. So Rampage is down to 4-3. Fisters are up to 5-2 thanks to a very weak schedule. They do swap the 3 and 4 seeds, and they are both have somewhat comfortable leads on the rest of their division. But I think that these 2 teams are still a step behind the next 2 teams. In the Impact matchup of the week, it was yours truly over Jaquiz My Pants. I finished with the second highest points in the league this week. I had to settle for that. I'm used to scoring the most points, but Mike did overcome me thanks to Le'Veon Bell. Again, projections did a good job. Both of us scored within 6 points of our projections. And then in terms of the positional matchups, quarterback, it did go to Jaquiz, like I said it would. Peyton with the second highest points among quarterbacks this week. Tight end didn't really go to either team. Julius did not show up. He dropped what would have been the record breaker. It was right in his hands. And this is his first time actually in single digits this year, and only the third time he's been less than 20. I think he only put up 6. Wide receiver, slight edge to Jaquiz. Oh, actually a decent size to Jaquiz. He outscored me by 23 points among wide receivers, and a lot of that credit has to go to Golden Tate, who stepped up in Megatron's absence. Running backs, this is where I won the matchup. I was close to having all 3 of my running backs beat Jaquiz's total points out of his 3 running backs because none of them showed up. Gio, Forsett, and I got her in down here. Alfred Morris combined for 17. My lowest running back was Miller with 16. Crap, I'm over 15 minutes. Forte, probably the number one running back. He's got the most points right now. It's been 3 straight weeks of 28 plus, 4 straight weeks of 21 plus. So as well as DeMarco has been doing, because of the receptions that Forte is getting, I think he's actually the best running back in the game. In fact, he's leading the league in receptions right now. Second in the league in total points behind my Andrew Luck. So I actually have the top 2 point scorers in the league. So among running backs, I outscored him 62-17. So obviously that's where I won my matchup. Both teams now are 6-1. We do flip-flop as well. I move to the 1 seed. He drops to the 2 seed because I have a lot more points than him. But yeah, we both have the inside track for the bye weeks. We're both looking at like solid options to win our division. And Rob is up to 3rd in the league in points. So maybe, it's not all luck for Rob. I've been pretty critical of his schedule, and that's the only reason why he was undefeated prior to this week. But he is actually putting up some points. So the guy that's sandwiched in second is Reitzman. He's only 4-3. So any potential tiebreakers, if it comes down to points, unless Reitzman makes a run, probably going to go to first myself and then Rob second. So looking like strong candidates to be the 2 teams that get a bye week. And then just some quick league notes. Looks like we're going to do the license plate idea. Ferguson, you better hope that you don't lose both leagues, because then you need one on the front and one on the back. I did order the belt this morning, so everyone will have to bring an extra $10 to the draft next year. Yeah, my name's going to go on there twice already. I'm hoping I get it a 3rd time this year. All 4 divisions. We have pretty solid division leaders right now. The closest division is Reitzman has a 1.5 game lead over Chris right now. You have the right of way, dude. Go. And so all 4 division leaders are pretty solid, but my division does have 3 of the top 6 seeds, and it has 3 of the top 5 total points in the league, which is why I hate randomness. I'm not saying that we need to do a points league, but if we're going to lock divisions, I don't think anything should be left up to randomness, because we could get this exact same situation where 3 of the best teams are all in the same division. And then I lengthen my total points lead up to 94 points higher than second place. I still don't know how I'm doing it, how my team is performing so very well. I guess you could say it's been a lot of luck. Get it? I got Andrew Luck, so it's been a lot of luck. Top point scorer in the league. And then finally, starting the Josh Gordon watch. Got the most points without this stud wide receiver. We're down to 33 days. 33 days from now, he'll be back on my team. Maybe back in my lineup. My wide receivers are not great, so there's a good chance that he'll actually, I'll insert right into the starting lineup. 19 minutes. Wow, I think this is a new record for longest Statisfaction report of the year. So, sorry. I'm not sorry. 33 days. Josh Gordon, Hurricanes, Commissioner, Statisfaction report.